Ah, yes. Here we are.
Mm,
Welcome.
welcome.
How you doing, my girl?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Feeling groovy.
Feeling groovy.
Yes. We're getting through it. We are getting through the winter.
Yeah, I have these moments where I'm like, this is no big deal. I got this. I just need the right warm clothes. I need a little leg warmers and layers and hats. And I heard someone say, there's no bad weather. There's just bad gear, I guess. Like, the weather's fine as long as you have the right gear.
Yeah.
And it's been sunny, so what can
Yeah.
it does really affect you though, not being able to like just walk outside in the same way, and it's like everywhere's a snow mound
Yeah.
or slush or ice or slippery or treacherous.
It's intense and confining, and we're up here in Maine right now. Like, it's so funny. Like, all summer I was like, Cass, I'm warning you right now how much I need vitamin D, and I just at least once during the winter need to step away from it and like be in the sun for a few days somewhere warm. Like, please, let's bake that in. We used to do it every year. We used to go to like LA for like 2 or 3 weeks in the middle of the winter and just like do business and work from out there and get warm and get happy. And instead we're in here in Maine, and next week we're going to Montana. And I think we're going to be back here in Maine.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Double down.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun, like, this time of year to like play around with losing your mind a little bit. Like, we've talked about that, and like just seeing what this confinement does to me and how important like getting some fucking sun on my tits is in my life. Like, I'm feeling it now. It's mid-February that it really starts to be like, okay, I could use a nice trip to Busch Gardens, Tampa, Florida.
It's so true. I've been looking at the Mets spring training schedule like every morning, like, okay, could we get down there for a weekend? Like, we'll just drive the 24 hours. We'll just do it. And then I'm like, I don't think we have time to.
We don't. We're busy. We're busy filmmakers now. Yeah, it's official. We showed our movie for the first time to a little audience.
Yeah, private screening. It was great.
Little private screening.
Top secret private screening.
Yeah, we got up there in CAA, right in the middle of New York City, right in the middle of, we were in the belly of the beast in so many ways. In the belly of the beast of New York City, and then the belly of the beast of the entertainment industry.
It's been a while since we've been in New York City, and these streets were real. I was like, it's freaking real down here.
It's so real.
And I think we just like forgot.
How did we not notice when we lived there for so long?
We weren't going to Grand Central that often, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's
but it was like funny,
when it's not your life anymore, you can kind of look at how intense it is, and it's like so intense that it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, obviously the situations of people being on the street there's nothing funny about that. I'm not saying that's funny, but like...
No, it is funny though when you see tourists are here and they don't know what they're here for. It's hilarious. You especially see it right around Grand Central where we were. It's like, it's like the most destitute like pile of people trying to just survive in this little corner, and then like people like looking at their phones for like where to catch a fucking double-decker tour bus to see what are you here doing? It's so crazy to me. I've always thought that about New York City, like fun place to like live and do your youth and be around other artists and scrape by and figure out like what the real world's all about. But what are people visiting? Like, what are they trying to do?
Well, you were spoiled because you grew up very close, so you like the skyscrapers aren't monumental to you, but if you've never seen like that many skyscrapers that close together, it would feel very exciting. It'd be worth the visit.
Yeah, for sure.
The Rockefeller Center that you've seen on all the movies, and
yeah,
the tree.
I just feel what it does to me now when we like even approach the city. And again, I love New York City. It's my favorite place. I love it. I will always love it. It got its hooks in me somehow at a young age, and I'll always love it, and I'll always vouch for it. But there is, even as approaching it, there's something starts happening, it's just like a tightness starts happening. Like you could just see me, like I'm smoking weed every fucking 5 seconds. I'm like I'm needing to medicate as we get closer to this fucking thing.
There's like a density of,
Yeah.
being like that, almost that much concrete between the earth, that much concrete surrounding you. You don't get that much sun. It just, there's
Yeah.
there's a chaotic energy to it.
My channels are too open sometimes, and like it really serves me
I
in a
think
lot
that's
of
honestly
ways.
kind of part of what I was funny about it. It was like, you're like, ooh,
I know.
this is you on the streets. You're like so skittish. It was like when we went to that show the other, I guess it was months ago now, but went to the show in New York City, and you were like, I gotta go grab something from the car a few blocks away, and you came back and you were like, I just saw a guy get punched in the face.
I just saw a homeless guy get knocked out, like complete, like in the middle of traffic. Like there's cars standing there, like beeping, and there's like a regular ass dude squaring up against a homeless guy and just knocked him out. And I was like, Jesus, I just had to go 1 block to get my jacket. It was crazy. Bowery Ballroom, Pixies, sick show though. It's usually worth it. But yeah, it's I think that me being like an open-hearted motherfucker and like really feeling people, really feeling them, is like it's such a gift in so many ways, except when you just gotta like get through a day in Midtown Manhattan. It's like, whoa, daddy.
Well, you tap into people in a way that I like. You can't be in I feel like restaurants are more uncomfortable for you because you can't. I can just like tune out probably to a level that you find uncomfortable. How much I can tune things out to the point where I tune you out.
Everyone does, but like everyone does. I'm like seem to be the only one in our parties at restaurants that's ever like, this is so weird.
Because all you can hear is the next door conversation or whatever.
Well, and I feel like they could hear us.
Yeah, so you'll be like, shh. And I'm like, stop shushing me.
We went out to eat the other night with people that I thought would want to be like discreet about what we were talking about, like NDA style stuff. And they're just like talking so loud. And I'm like, isn't it weird when like you do this all the time? When someone's talking and they're being like very like maybe they don't know they're being loud. So you're kind of meeting them with like that kind of energy of like, hey, kind of meet me here. And they're not picking up on it. We spent a whole dinner like that the other night. And it's just because I'm like, we're packed in here. There's people like, I'm sitting closer to someone right here than the person talking to me.
Well, you assume people are like you, and most people don't give a fuck what we're talking about. You know,
I don't give a fuck what anyone's talking about. I just can't not hear it. I can't not hear like the song that's playing at like 8 decibels behind 4 conversations. And maybe that's what it's from. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but it makes New York City restaurants very uncomfortable. Like, I'm gonna be really good at like being an old guy, early bird special restaurant guy.
You'll be endlessly entertained, at least that.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, I want it. I can't even, I wish I could read lips. I can't read lips for the life of me. So, you know, it's, I kind of wish I had, it's like a superpower. You could talk about a hearing superpower. Daredevil, Born Again, coming out March 4th. March 4th.
It's the 4th?
I looked it up this morning.
Okay. Yeah. Daredevil, Born Again, March 4th on Disney Plus. Check it out.
Yeah.
We've left a mark on that series.
Yes, we did. And we haven't seen it.
You'll be able to tell how.
You know, I think it's going to be great. So I'm excited to see it myself. I have no idea.
It's very weird. It's very weird what we do. You know, it must be weird for the actors. It must be even weirder.
We saw more than probably most people.
Yeah.
Because we were like adding to the series.
Yeah.
And so we got to watch where the episodes were. But yeah, I was thinking about that too, that so many people who participated in a very intimate way, you know, 40 days of shooting, we got to see it like...
We needed, for what we were doing for the series, like we needed full context. You know, like you got to let us in every way. This isn't going to work otherwise. And they did. And I don't think the actors are afforded that. I don't think a lot of people are. You know, the cinematographer was hitting us up like, "Hey, what's the deal? I was like, I don't know, because we just service this job, so I don't.
We just found out that
we're in there.
That we're in there.
Yeah.
We weren't sure.
Yeah, this all started a year ago, and you know, I guess we've had to be quiet about it for a while.
And whether you like it or not, you should go in there and be like, that stuff was good.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit more of a call to action once it's out there.
I want to, you got to go, I want to see more of that stuff.
Yeah.
When you see
yeah,
the stuff, you say, I want to see more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So Sean and Cass
Mm.
can make more movies.
Yes, yeah. It's weird. I feel like our path to making more movies has never been predicated on what I would think it was or anyone else, you know? Anytime we're like, okay, well, we did this thing and now it's getting recognized and it's going to lead to it's like it's always starting over, and I think it's kept us humble, and it's kept us like in touch with humanity. But I've never really got the pleasure of feeling like I'm in the midst of a career.
No, we don't. No,
at all.
No, you don't. You've never gotten that sort of
No.
hit that kind of wave where you're like, well, because every time I hit that kind of wave, I'm like, well, I guess we should have kids now because we have money.
Totally. Yeah, when it seems like 2 jobs could happen in a row.
Which has never happened.
It's never happened.
Which is kind of weird. But I think the angels want you humble.
They do.
So you can make humble art.
Yeah.
But it is something I think about a lot is when you need something to happen, you just got to put effort towards it happening. You just aren't in control over one thing leading to the next thing. Like when you need work or you need something to make money, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to try to make money. But it never ends up being like you hit up one person because you're like, maybe they could get me work. But then it's not them that helps you get work. It's the angels that hear you asking them and are like,
they're like, oh, they're trying.
Oh, they're trying. Okay, I'll now remind this person that they need work, and it comes back around. And it feels. That's what I try to say when people are like, what do I do? I'm like, just try, because it doesn't even matter if it's the exact thing that you're doing that works out. It's the effort that you're making that seems to let the universe know that you're open to receiving.
And then just keep trying. Like that. Like that's how you like water that garden.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's very frustrating if you think about it in certain terms. But what's cool for me, at least, and the style of films that I want to make and the type of person I want to be, is, it's great that we have every excuse to be like, oh yeah, it's hard to get work as a documentary filmmaker.
Or the type
help
that
me
you
get
are.
work.
Yeah,
and you whisper that to the actual real deal angels in your life, like Hillary and David and Jacob and Aaron and Justin, just to shout out a few of our angels by first name. But you whisper that to some people and shit starts happening, and it's not always direct. In fact, it's never has been for us.
No.
Yeah. But it reminds you that there's like a wide spectrum in which money can be made. And I think sometimes the panic can come from like, oh, the only way we make money is from getting hired to do a commercial. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be at all. So
now we work for Disney.
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully more than once. We love
which
Disney.
would also be a first. Not a first. I did a job for Chase once, and they hired me again.
I did feel good hearing someone else we were talking to say that, that they had gotten a repeat client, and they were like, this is rare. And I was like, I thought it was just Sean because he's a fucking fucker.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, it is rare for most people to get repeat clients in the,
in this industry?
In this industry.
Yeah, definitely. Which actually makes me being a fucker more worth it. Because it's like, you're never going to come back. I'm going to leave an impression on you. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I think it's okay. I think I just...
Oh, baby girl.
I think it's okay.
Don't fuck around back there.
I didn't mean to.
Yes. So, I don't know. How'd you think it went?
The screening?
Yeah.
It's weird to talking about a screening that people can't watch, a film that people can't watch yet. It's kind of like talking about a dream. But...
Well, no, it does. I mean, what the fuck is this podcast?
I guess that's true.
It was all about a dream. But I mean, like, here's how it went for me. Hey, Angels, for some reason we felt compelled to have like a little 15-person screening at CAA in the middle of the week, in the middle of the winter. Like, give us some signs that it's on, that it's fucking on, because this is the first time we're putting it up on a big screen. And they did. And it's for the simple shit for me. We fucking pulled into Midtown, pulled into a random ass parking spot that was unmetered, weird, like commercial only, probably should have been towed. We just pulled into a spot, left our car there for 7 hours, came back. It was just sitting there, no ticket, nothing. So I'm like, all right, cool. To me, that's the night in a nutshell. Like, you know, like
Well,
the homies came out and they hooked it up and they were so sweet to us. But man, the angels holding that spot, so like we could just be smooth in and out of there and like not go in there with our feathers ruffled.
no, it really worked out. But I what I love about you is that even if we had gotten towed, you would have found some way to say, "Oh, well, they just needed us to remind us about this or that." Like you're so positive, and
Thank you.
and so, you know, I think it's great to appreciate that, and I do appreciate
I
that.
have this idea that you have the complete opposite vision of me, that I'm not positive.
No, you're very
Oh,
positive.
okay.
I think of you as very positive,
I appreciate that.
and I think that's why the parking angels like you. It's because you're very positive. Because even if you don't get the perfect spot outside, you'll be like, well, I guess we were supposed to walk by this corner. And like, wow, look, we saw this thing that we were supposed to see.
Well, that's when you especially pay attention.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well.
Yeah, when your little stupid human angelic vision of how your night should go isn't going according to plan, but you're still keeping your perfect faith. You're like, okay, they must have something in mind for me. Something must be afoot.
Yeah, no.
God is alive. Magic is afoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you start looking for it. And inevitably, whatever you're looking for, you find, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, why not look for the signs and the symbols and the messages and be grateful for whatever the opportunity allows for, whether it's like, oh no, I got water in my boots and now I have to change my shoes, and it's like, oh well, these shoes are even better anyway. I don't know, I'm making up fake scenarios, but I didn't touch anything. It wasn't me. Well, I'll say I think it went really well because I feel that people were affected by the movie, and that's what I can ask for. You know, I think we're really feeling into what this movie is, and more than it being about something, it is something, and it is a spell. And I know that every time I watch it, it taps me into something that I want to tap into, and it makes me feel like aligned, and it reminds me of the importance of being aligned, and it reminds me of the vibrations that we all put off, and I think for a film and a movie that we made to have that own effect on me, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we wanted to do, so.
Well, and as a sensitive person who feels every emotion every other person is feeling, I think I'm tapped in. It went really good.
Yeah.
It went so good that I'm like, whoa, we have something like extremely powerful on our hands.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for people to see it, and this is a little bit of the frustrating thing where it is like kind of talking about a dream is because it's going to be a minute before people can see it, but we're going to figure it out.
Patreon.com/churchofchill. Just sign up, join our film club. There might be some little treats headed your way, but you got to really sign up and join our film club. Like, now's the time. There might be some like little windows of time where there's some wild magic happening. But, join our thing. Like, what the heck? We want to make more movies, and you need time to do that. So join our thing so we can keep doing it. What was I going to say about all this? Yeah, I don't know. Just telling better stories and gearing your life towards that. And like, look, when I think that's what this film is. That like I think about the phrase wild magic being an altar. Like what is an altar? Like physically, what is an altar? It's coordinates for spirits. It's saying like, hey, here's a landing pad for you. Here's a place where I come to charge up these things that are symbols of the unseen world, but it's coordinates for them to be like, oh, there's a believer. And I feel like the title wild magic coming to us was an altar. It was coordinates for spirits for their paths to overlap with us. And so I think that the film we made is an altar. And when I think about it like that, I think it's like it's such a blessing in terms of balance from what I see being shoved down our throats otherwise. So You hope something like this positive gets lots of eyes on it, and a lot of people get it, and a lot of people see the writing on the wall that we see culturally, and we're seeking balance for that. You know, I was really, really, truly disturbed by everything surrounding the Super Bowl. There's a reason we haven't
Super
watched
Bowl
it.
is inherently the most disturbing spectacle that there is.
Yeah, but I don't think everyone thinks that.
I don't.
There's a reason we don't watch it.
I'm not even trying to get people to think that. I
No.
just think that it is, the most excessive commercial. Like,
Yeah.
well, we did watch it.
Well, for the first time in years, because like when we first met, like we had a couple funny Super Bowls where we just like happened to be like hungover in a hotel, and we're like, oh yeah, what the fuck, and like watched it, and you know, like but we got really super into like, no, we boycott the NFL vibes, and it's brutal to watch this sport, and like just everything about it was, I don't know.
I just was more grateful that everyone survived it.
Yes, yes, but
it's like, okay, good.
Look, here's all I'm saying. It's the fucking winter. We're up here in Maine. I'm losing my mind. And literally, I was like, oh, it's 6:30. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Like, oh, I wonder if I could figure out how to stream the Super Bowl. It turned it on, and it like took over our world.
Yeah, my mom was on it.
Your mom was on a fucking acid come down. So I was trying to keep it to myself that I had the Super Bowl on the laptop, and then like by the halftime show, like you guys were interested, so I was like, I'll push it up to the TV. And she kept saying like, I'm having a great time. Because she was in that non-judgmental state of mind.
And it's fun. It's fun to, I mean, look, I think they all...
She only wanted us to turn up the volume on the commercials, and like she felt part of something.
Yeah, it brings people together.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed we didn't make nachos, but that's because that's the way to do the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing when people can come together over a shared event.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. But right out of the gate, I click on it. What do I see? Tom Brady looking so plastic surgeried out like that. Like that's the first image that I got. Like I wasn't even planning on telling you that I had this up until the first thing comes up and it's Tom Brady. And I was like, whoa. I was like, Cass, get over here. Look at this guy. And you were like, what the fuck? Oh, so right out of the gate, it's like what is this?
What is our world?
What is our world? What, you know?
I literally was like, oh!
Yeah.
Scared me straight.
Mm-hmm. No, like the first half, it wasn't even a game. It wasn't even competitive for 2 seconds in the game. Like the Eagles just trounced them. It wasn't close. And throughout the whole game, like this is the fucked up thing is like it's 40-0, and the announcers are being like, oh, the Chiefs defense has really done some wonderful plays tonight. They're doing all this fucking gimmicks to try to make it seem like what you're watching is compelling or important when it's clearly a blowout, and it has been since like the first half of the first quarter. So like there's just so much just like imbued bullshit. Just stay with us, keep watching energy, and like the commercials come on and it's just like, oh my God. Like there's just there's two vibes right now. Absurdist, you can barely make sense of it, but there's 3 celebrities in there for some reason, because one celebrity is not enough. It needs to be 3 celebrities. You could feel the ad agency thinking on it. Like, oh, and when you least suspect it, Ben Affleck will come out. And then, oh my God, it'll be so random. You could just feel the fucking focus grouping of like the randomness of all these commercials. There's that, like just over the top absurdist. We're throwing celebrities at you. You don't even know what the product is. And then the other one is like this, just down home American, somber, there's like Adderall happy, and then like fucking Zoloft like crazy, like that's it. Those are the 2 tones in which every commercial was painted with, and you couldn't tell any of them apart. And the brands that they're trying to get you to fucking get into, it's just like I don't know, just the whole game was just like it was just fucking disgusting. You're like holding out hope. You're like, look, Kendrick's gonna come out. They actually hired a real artist for this to do this halftime show. So like, It's like Kendrick's gonna come save the day. Like this is gonna be interesting. Like I don't know rap, and I know a good amount of Kendrick stuff because I was a big fan right out of the gate. And man, I don't know, terrible vibes, terrible, dark. I don't know. I wasn't on acid. Maybe your mom has a different view of it, but no, we talked about this.
No, she just couldn't understand anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, that's A, but that's just white people 101. It's like, what was that? I couldn't understand it, but when it's about like you know, say what you will about like you know, a vocalist in a rock band who you can't understand what he's saying. It's not as important. You're kind of like in it for the music. When it's rap, like, aren't you trying to like pick up on the story they're telling or what they're saying? Or
I just thought it was like ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. Life is ridiculous. I'm as hypocritical, whatever is the next guy. But just like this, the revolution will not be televised. Turn off your TV. I'm like, what are we doing? You know,
so bad. Just terrible music, terrible vibes.
We just almost like we're
confrontational. Like whoa, fuck.
I thought it was I didn't find it that confrontational.
If you just blurred your eyes and your ears and you know, just allowed it to flow through you, it felt very like, hey, you know, like fuck, come on, like that kind of energy. And you know, it's just
that's
what
why
the fuck?
Samuel L. Jackson was like, calm it down.
Yeah. No, I get what they were doing. I'm just saying, like. Kendrick's super talented. It just, for me, it didn't hit. It just felt like terrible energy. Honestly, just terrible. It's like, it was all about calling Drake a fucking pedophile. And it's like, yeah, clearly the fucking guy is. It's like kind of a well-known open secret. But like the thing that we're all compelled to watch, there's one thing that brings every American and maybe even everyone in the world with a TV together once a year. And it's the Super Bowl, and it's specifically the halftime show. And in the face of we have fucking Nazis, like neo-Nazis. Like right now we have a cultural conversation where Kanye West is upset with Elon Musk for stealing his Nazi swagger. And Kendrick's out here being like, Drake's a fucking pedophile, and everyone's like, oh shit. It's just like,
well, what do you want?
Bankrupt Vibrations.
Well, of course it is. Like,
what do I want? Watch Michael Jackson's halftime show from 1993. The motherfucker just stood there staring for 2 minutes straight, just totally frozen, and everyone got so pumped up. And then they played real music, and he sang real music, and it was fucking rad. You know, like there's a way to bring people together. There's a way to put a vibration where the next day everyone is like talking about things. Is this where
you want
like
people coming together over the consumption of football?
No, but it could
Pepsi
leave with a better feeling than that. You could leave with a better feeling than that. Not a pit of your stomach like, why was he talking about revolution? Apple sponsored this. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it ruined like one of my favorite artists for me. Like, there's not a lot of contemporary artists that I'm like, they're fucking awesome. Kendrick's one of them, and I'm like, what are you fucking yapping about? A revolution sponsored by Apple? Are you fucking kidding me? We deserve so much better than anyone whose name you know in culture right now. So much better. So much better. And I don't know. I'm not like trying to sound like the old guy who's like, look what we used to do, this and that. But like, fucking for real, there used to be some fucking uplifting vibes to hold on to every now and then. And it's just non-existent. It's crazy to me.
I don't want people to get up. I almost feel like it's appropriate. Like,
oh my God, we're going through such divisive times. It's just like a message of unification could be cool. I guess we're all unifying over like, you know, that one pedophile, fuck him. And I guess that's so us. But I don't know. When he came out being like, it's about to be a fucking revolution. Like, I don't know, something about me. Like I bought into it for a second. You saw my genuine reaction. I was like, whoa, what's about to fucking go down? And what it added up to me makes me not like Kendrick as much.
Well, that of course is going to be I think it's of course going to be the takeaway from any Super Bowl halftime show in the last 25 years and the future 25 years.
Of course.
I'm not trying to undo what you're saying.
Look, as a guy who feels like he wasted his time watching this, this is how I reclaim it a little bit. Is being like, well, if that's a reflection of our culture, holy shit, that's we deserve better. We need better. You know.
Well, you see what happens anytime anyone tries to actually say anything. Like if someone tries to take a knee, or like what happened to Kaepernick. You know, there's not room in this world. Someone came out with a
Sudanese flag,
with a Palestinian Sudanese flag, and he got tackled. Like they
disappeared that motherfucker.
They will disappear you. You talk about anything of substance. And for me, I just was like, oh, Kendrick broke onto the scene talking about stuff of substance. And you know how you become a Super Bowl halftime guy? You stop talking about things of substance.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is what happens in order to get to where you get to.
Yeah.
You know, you can't.
I understand that, but you're saying it very matter of fact. I don't think it's very matter of fact for people. I think it is disturbing. Like, I know that you've decoded all this, but I think it is kind of disturbing. The bill of goods we get sold. There's multiple genocides going on in the world right now, and this guy's like, I'm gonna fucking come out here and fucking light the world on fire. And what it amounts to is more hate and anger and divisive. Just nothing about any of it felt like
you wanted, we are the world.
Yeah.
We are the children.
Yeah.
We are the...
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, like, get Bonnie Raitt to do the fucking halftime show, you know? Like, she's an American treasure, and I think she brings people together, you know?
I did want a little more melody myself.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, play a few diddlies that people get stuck in their head for the next day, and then watch Bonnie Raitt's old albums go up to #1, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
So you're saying you're Team Drake?
No. Hell fucking no. I've weirdly had, I don't even want to say, like, I don't know about, I think everyone's probably a pedophile if they're playing those games, but like, I had a bad vibe around him the second I heard about him. The second I heard about him.
Are we talking like Degrassi, or when are we talking? When did
Post Degrassi, when he just launched his music career, I remember I was doing some job around South Street, Seaport in New York. And it was like, Drake's doing a show here tonight. I was like, who the fuck is Drake? And everyone's like, this kid from Degrassi, this and that. And like 10,000 people showed up. And I was like, what's going on here? It just felt like industry plant is what they call it now. It just felt like, oh, everyone's being told like this is the next great thing. And
Drake has some hits. Kendrick has some hits. You're so funny. Well, you were like, whoa, when they were doing this head bopping thing. You were like, wow.
Right out of the gate, I was like, I think
you were really into it.
Yeah, but like I was waiting for that like hook, you know. I was waiting for like, I don't know. It just, I was like, I don't know any of these songs. Where's Good Kid, Mad City?
That's because
where is it? No, for real.
Well, it's just because you've been out of touch for the last 10 years. You know what I mean?
I was hoping for Good Kid, Mad City.
That's exactly what happened.
He let me down.
I know.
And by the end, I'm thinking about like, you motherfucker.
I was waiting
Apple paid for this, and you fucking
and
were sitting there saying a revolution's coming.
And you didn't even play Good Kid, Mad City.
If he would have just hit me with a little of that fucking first song that he came out with.
I know.
Drowning in pools or whatever it is, swimming pools.
Yeah, no.
If he would have played a little bit of that, I probably wouldn't have thought about his fake revolution. But here we are.
You just want the hits. And meanwhile, he's
an
artist.
Give me revolution or give me the hits. None of this in between.
He's an artist that they probably were like, we want you to do Good Kid, Mad City. And he was like, I'm an artist with integrity. Oh. And can't you respect an artist with integrity? That's 10 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing my new stuff. This is where I'm at now. I'm not playing that old shit, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, whatever he wants to do, that's clearly what he wanted to do. I don't think that anyone twists his arm at this stage. You either play ball or you don't.
Culture twists your arm because you know that you can play ball within a certain narrow scape in order to not make enemies or whatever. Mm-hmm. To keep the lights on.
To sell tickets to your stadium tour.
Yeah, and also not get like disappeared and sent to mental health stuff like Kanye. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
For them to not have you committed.
They gotta get Kanye out there at a halftime show.
Taylor Swift should have been singing from the stands a little like interlude or something.
Oh, if they cut to her up in the booth, wherever the fuck she's watching the game from, her little perch up there.
Well, I'll say what I got out of it is that I love Jalen Hurts, new fan.
The utmost respect for that young man.
Because what did he say when they asked him about Kendrick or Drake?
They're like, yeah, so where do you stand on the Kendrick Jake thing? And he was just like, he's kind of schooled the people that asked him. He's like, oh, I'm an old soul. I don't pay attention to any of that. I don't care. And they were like, so what's your favorite album? He's like, Frankie Beverly, Live in New Orleans. Like a fucking Philadelphia soul singer from the 60s. This kid's 26 years old saying that to the media.
Yeah.
Basically, like, get off me with this fucking Drake Kendrick shit. Who gives
I listen
a
to
fuck?
real music.
I listen to real music, motherfuckers. Like, oh my God. I immediately was texting our friend Drew, who's from Philadelphia. I'm like, what's this guy's deal? I'm like, he's a total anomaly.
What did Drew say about him? Anything?
He knew. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
he knew
he's a deep fan. You know?
Well, it was hard. I was like, right at the get, I was like, I'm going to root for Philly.
Yeah.
Because, like, I like Philly.
We love Philadelphia.
And plus, I'm always rooting for the underdog. You know, the Chiefs had done 2 in a row.
It's
but then,
tough when Philly's the underdog because they're one of our rivals.
Well, I would never root. I don't think I think I did root for Phillies in one of the games a while back against the Braves or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll root for these greasy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The MLB team, but then you were like, Mahomes was wearing a Soto jersey, a Mets Soto jersey, because his dad used to play for the Mets, and he's a Mets fan. I'm like, oh, maybe I should root for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But Mahomes was never really read to me as a guy who has that killer instinct. I was honestly surprised. That's how talented he is. I'm like, he's kind of like dopey-eyed, and maybe that's like what works for him. But he never like has that
He doesn't have that Michael Jordan.
He doesn't seem to have
You don't
that.
look at him and think like, damn,
Like,
that's a fierce competitor. You could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, I've never really felt that way. So I've honestly been more surprised that he has done as well as he's done than how this game went.
No, he's rare talent.
No,
he is. He just doesn't. He doesn't read that way, and it's weird.
I know he is.
And maybe it's because he's so young and like a little bit dopey looking.
Look, I love them all. I really do.
love all these boys.
I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of
running
my
around
new
for us.
My new favorite is Jordan. Was it Jordan, the Australian guy?
Oh,
I was reading his story, and I'm like, hell yeah, this rugby player started doing this like international football program in Australia, and the Phillies picked him up and trained him
Eagles.
the Eagles, sorry. Picked him up and EGL sorry, I don't know. That is such a move I would do. I would do that. I'd get ahead of myself. EAGLES is just such a weird chant. I think
Cass is
Eagles...
referencing a viral video of the mayor of Philadelphia trying to get an Eagles chant started, and she can't remember how to spell it, and it's just very cringe.
She just got ahead of herself. But that just is so something I would do.
Yeah.
And plus, it doesn't rhyme. It doesn't even.
It's
doesn't
not
have
one
gusto.
that you should be. It's not JETS jets. Like that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Eagles.
I heard someone doing it the other night, and I was like, "This just does not sound right." They need a rebrand on their diddlies.
They need to go in a different direction.
They need to hire Ween to write a little song for them. So,
that's a good idea.
That's a great idea. I'm full of great ideas. So
you definitely are. Creative director energy.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you guys want to just write the NFL and let them know, I got the ideas.
Yeah. So, we're like the rest of America and the world, and we tune in. I tuned in too much, maybe though.
I don't like watching commercials, period, because they give me, kind of like going to New York City gives me agita, and it reminds me of like my past life where, I was medicating a lot.
Yeah, commercials remind me like, oh shit, that's what we do. Like, we need to make money.
Wait, when was the last time we done a commercial?
We got to do a commercial. Like, what the fuck?
It was like when we were at a record store the other day, and a guy was on the phone talking about just in the business mode, and I just like started being like, I don't want to hear your business shit. And it has less to do with like, I don't want to hear I don't want to tap into that energy because it reminds me of what I'm not doing. Like I have this whole business side that I have a business. I might seem like a stoner on here, but I'm a very professional woman who can write very professional emails and be very professional. And like, I like working.
Yeah. And there's a reason we could be so freewheeling. It's because you're so organized and good at what you do.
No, we work hard. And, and it's not like we're not always working on something, but when you get reminded of work and you don't have a job at the moment, you're like, I don't want to know about jobs. I don't want to know that people are making money.
Yeah. Keep it to yourself, motherfucker. Like, look, I'm not saying it should be illegal, but it's bordering on socially inappropriate.
Talking about...
I know. This is what I was about to just get to because, like, look, we're in the record store and that's our happy place. Like, that is, like, literally one of the few, maybe the only store I can go into where I'm like, I'm a kid in a candy store. All the chemicals are going off in my head. I'm hearing music I love. I'm Shazamming things. I'm taking pictures of albums that we don't have. I'm buying albums we already do have.
Which is what we did last time.
Yes.
You gotta have...
We have two copies of Black Sabbath Master of Puppets, and they're both like very valuable. Maybe we'll do a Church of Chill giveaway.
Well, that was a good time. We're not in the mode of buying records. We are in the mode of
trading them.
We trade them, so we have like thousands of records
and receiving from our fans. We're always we're definitely down to receive.
We're open to receiving.
We're always
records.
down to receive.
But
we're hanging out in like one of the few stores ever, and like that I feel like, oh, this is a happy place. And this motherfucker comes in there and just straight up does a business call the whole time we were in there. And we were trading records, so we had to be in there for like 45 minutes. This motherfucker was walking around on the phone the whole time. Just, I want to run that up the flagpole, but here's the thing. We want to do things right, but we want to make sure that we do them nice and slow and focused at the same time, but making sure that the budget, and it's just corporate platitudes. Like, this guy probably thinks like he is something. Like, he's just sitting there repeating platitudes. You could just feel the person on the other end being like, get me off.
And meanwhile, I'm like, God, someone just hire me so I can talk in platitudes.
Meanwhile, I'm like, if someone doesn't kick this guy out of here, I'm going to. And I started just fucking mad dogging him. Yeah, that's all. I mean, you know how I could be. I just started mad dogging him, like just unabashedly staring at a motherfucker, and they catch your eye and you don't break, and you just keep staring at him. And he stepped out after that. He stepped out. But, it charged me up, and I was like, this is funny. I'm surprised we're talking about this on the podcast, but it is funny. So on our ride up here, we stop at a rest area to take a leak, and this is just something I've always done that I just find funny, and it's like I do it when I'm by myself, but like especially when Joey's around or whatever. But if I'm in a public restroom and some guy's taking a shit and I'm the only other person in there, I'm just taking a leak. When I'm leaving, I just like make huge, loud, obnoxious fart sounds with my mouth. I'm not like I'm not that kind of person, but I make the sounds to like make them sitting in there. Like, it's just hilarious to me that they're sitting in there like, what the fuck is going on? And so
it's a victimless crime.
It's a victimless crime, and it's so funny to me. It's just so funny to me that they're sitting there thinking like, Jesus Christ, like, because I just make like really loud, obnoxious, but real sounding, fart sounds. And I came out of the bathroom at one of these rest areas laughing so hard, and you're like, what are you laughing about? And I told you, I was like, I can't believe in all these years we've been together, I don't tell you that I do this. Mm-hmm. Because I do it all the fucking time. Cut to 2 hours later, we're at our next rest stop. I'm taking a leak in a huge public restroom. Huge. The place is enormous. You could have gone anywhere. I'm peeing. There's a row of urinals. No one else in there. Motherfucker walks in there. Same deal. Like in the middle of an important business interaction on speakerphone, so I can hear both ends.
With a lady.
So it's a lady, and she's being like, okay, yeah, we're going to need to confirm that order, but before we do that, we're going to have to, and he stands right next to me to start taking a leak, and I just go, and she just stops mid-sentence. You hear, and she goes, sir, are you still in the car? And he has to take this long pause, and he's like, no, I'm in the restroom. And I didn't fucking break for a second. I just kept just peeing, whatever. And he just defeated, just walked out and walked towards like the other set of urinals. And I just so happened to finish peeing when he finished peeing, and we left at the same time. And I mad dogged him. Like, he knew that was me, and I knew that was him, and I was just like, I'll walk out with you. I don't give a shit. You'll still be on the phone with that lady. I know I humiliated you. I did it on purpose. You're breaking a social code, so I'm going to. And we're going to play that game in here. And it's a game that makes me have laughs. Like we couldn't stop laughing. I got in the car. Like, I came out of there dying laughing. I could barely drive. It was like making me laugh so much my bones weren't working. You know, like just the level, like this guy in a million years would have never thought anyone would do something that weird. But I've been training for that moment. I could not believe it happened literally the next time I went in, where I was just like, oh, damn, dude, like, this is so obnoxious. You're coming in here on a speakerphone call, echoing around a fucking goddamn public restroom.
And it's a men's room.
It's a men's room.
With a lady's voice.
Well, this lady shouldn't be in here, and she should know what goes on in men's rooms. And now she does. And you got a lot of explaining to do, sir.
I love that.
It must have sounded like he farted directly into the speaker. That's how close I was to this guy and how loud it was.
And he like couldn't do anything. Like, I'm standing next to some asshole.
What are you gonna do?
He knew what he.
Yeah.
I think the instant you did that, and he probably was like, "Fuck, what is this guy doing?" And he knew he had no ground to stand on.
No. I'll fucking look. This is the stuff I get into when I'm not around you for 5 seconds. I need to prove my alpha dog status. So I only do it when I'm away from you for like 10 minutes at a time in public restrooms. But I'm like, oh.
You're like, I need everyone in the restroom to know who's boss.
Nobody fuck with me in here. Turn off your fucking look. If you're on a call, just keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. What the fuck? You know.
Oh, that got me.
Yeah.
That's really
that's
funny.
that's kind of like
I mean,
the level of maturity I'm at.
Yeah.
Truly.
Well, I love that you're just trying to like make yourself have a funny time. You know, that's what makes me not worry about you. That I don't need to be with.
Fine.
Like, I am with you every second of the day because I want to be, but I know that when we're not together, you're still figuring out how to have a funny time.
It's always an adventure.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because, like you said at the beginning of this, I just have like a kind of like a positive like outlook of just like, okay, another opportunity to have a fun and funny day. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, I hope he remembers that. I hope he can laugh about it.
I think he's gonna select delete that memory like instantly. I'm like you're like, I wonder how he's gonna think. I'm like, he's gonna be thinking about that. I'm like, no, he deleted that memory instantly.
Yeah, it's like there's like a level of cringe where your memory just knows to black it out or to retell the story in a different way. Like maybe if he did remember it, he was like, that guy's a fucking asshole. or he could laugh about it. I mean, it is fucking funny. People have done funny things to me.
Can you remember any of them?
No, not off the top of my head.
Because you
like,
select deleted them.
Yeah, but they're there if I thought about them. Because like I'll give it up to somebody. If somebody does something truly hilarious and like what I think is clever, and believe it or not, I thought that was kind of clever.
I mean, the fact that you didn't think about that.
The second he took his dick out to be like, oh, he's fucked.
You didn't even care that he saw you. He knows that you did it. It's just the whole everything about it's so perfect.
It's just boys being boys.
Yeah.
It's guys being dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know about that stuff. You're a twisted joker in your own right.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you hang out with me and my girlfriends, you're always like, you guys are just as fucked up as the guys. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I had to say that to you and your mom the other night. I was like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm just going to pause right here. The conversation you guys are holding right now is more crude than anything I've ever heard any guy ever talk about. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, no.
Because I think that there's this delusion that guys are like really just gross and disgusting. And yes, we can be. Women can be too.
Most def.
Yeah. What else you got? What else are you thinking about?
I don't know.
It all ties together.
It does.
In a fucked up way because, God, I hate to even say this, but like when you hold a screening, and it's so rare for us, like we probably haven't held screenings of our work in like 9 years. It's just much easier to put it out on the internet. It's much cheaper. It's like, let's go get our audience. But when you hold a screening, kind of feels like what I did to that guy. Like, oh, I got you.
Yeah, I remember you just even before the screen, you're like, I'm more nervous because I'm like holding people captive to watch this thing. Not because I don't think it's great, but because I think it's impacting.
Because I think it's so impacting that I'm like, it almost feels like a prank. It almost feels like a fucked up thing to do to a captive audience.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I don't know, maybe that's just me tooting my own horn, but then I felt it. And like the energy I have after a screening like that goes well is like I pulled off a great prank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, okay, cool. Wow, I can't believe I got you guys thinking about that and watching that and engaging with it. Now you're asking me about it.
Maybe instead of film club one week, we should just say, okay, during our film club meeting, we're going to stream our movie.
That's kind of what I was alluding to.
I know, but
without
I'm
blowing
catching
up
up.
our spot.
Okay, I'm just catching
on the
up.
free episode, you know. You're just catching up that I was being a little coded about that before.
Yeah, well, I was actually catching up to how we could physically do it.
Yeah, I know how to do it. But needless to say, if any of this stuff interests you, join patreon.com/churchofchill. There's so many cool homies. I mean, we're having these film discussions every Monday night.
I love that some of them are more about the director. Some of them are more about the cinematography, and some of them more about the editing, and I mean all of it. But then a lot of, like last night we were talking about Royal Tenenbaums, and it became a lot more about our own relationships with the film, with our family members. With, you know, it kind of
That's why I'm glad we picked that one.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like it's about what was the director trying to say. It's like, what did you feel?
Yeah.
What did it make you feel? And yeah, every conversation's been so interesting in different ways. This will probably go out soon, so I can say it now. Our next movie is...
Oh, for Valentine's Day, we're doing Punch Drunk Love.
Yes.
By Paul Thomas Anderson. So if you love that movie and you want to talk about it or hear us talk about it, we'll be talking about it on Monday...
The 17th.
The 17th. February 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
And you can see our smiling faces in there. And we get high. And we talk for an hour and 15 minutes.
It seems pretty reliably.
Reliably. It's literally, I have no idea how long these things are. We end them, and it's always 9:15. And we're going to just keep it rolling because I think it's been a really good community practice.
I love watching movies. I've been so inspired. You know, I think looking at art, watching art makes you want to make art, even if the type of art you want to make is different.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just so cool when, even if it doesn't hit with you, just to know that somebody was being very intentional about the way that they were trying to come off or make you feel with something.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it doesn't hit, to me, it's interesting in talking about why it didn't, or what could have been, what could have been accomplished had they done it differently, or maybe I'm misreading it. And I kind of like it, the positive attitude you think I have really helps in doing a film club like this, because I don't want to shit on people's work. You know, it's not
the Super Bowl halftime show.
Fucking, I know one of the producers of it. I mean,
I thought it was good. I mean, do you remember last year? I mean, they all are just. I thought it was like.
Oh, Cass, I know what it is. I'm just saying it's Kendrick. So, like, to me, it felt like, oh, like when they booked Prince, you're like, oh, well, and
you're just
Prince
upset because you
through.
don't like Kendrick's new stuff as much because you also haven't heard it. Maybe it would be more catchy if you had listened to it. Maybe it's like to the people who are very familiar with those songs. It's like, yes.
Well, I'm not. Basically, I'm not getting the message. I'm not like and. Look, sound off in the comments. Smash the like and subscribe and sound off in the comments. And smash that thumbs down if you don't like what I'm saying.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't, please.
Please.
Sir.
Please
sir,
don't.
please take your finger off.
If you made it this far, you can't say you don't like it.
Yeah.
Because you hate watching it.
Look, I appreciate...
And that means you love it.
I appreciate you and everyone indulging me being critical. I don't normally like taking that stance, but I think what I'm trying to say is, judging by that slice of, hey, here's America in a nutshell, Super Bowl, and then the halftime show in particular, it's pretty dark right now. It's pretty. It's not. It's not an uplifting vibe.
Well, no, and maybe it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it shouldn't be. And maybe if they were to make an uplifting vibe, it'd be like, what are we thinking? This world is dark and weird right now. And
do you know how many quick little things I could say to combat that and we could take that sliver of a thing and make a whole spectacle out of it, that's a beautiful Super Bowl show, you know? Do you know how many positive things that could be focused on right now that could literally start creating the new paradigm that renders our murderous, genocidal government useless? That's what you do. You start to carve out space into the new paradigm. That didn't feel like that kind of work.
It's not going to come from the Super Bowl, though. That's
but it
all
should be reflected in it, is what I'm saying. When you hire someone like Kendrick, if you hire someone like Bruce, what do you think? You're going to get Bruce. You're going to get Springsteen, man. It's going to come from a place that seems like it's from the working class.
Yeah.
You know? He even has a little bit of a Joe Biden. Come on,
no,
man.
it's such a joke, though.
It's all a joke. It's all a joke. But I mean, look, if it's going to be a joke, can it be a good one?
The commercial that really got me was the one, the Hims or Hers or whatever, the generic Ozempic that was like, you're getting poisoned from every angle. Your food is crap. Everything's crap.
It's a really compelling narrative. You're like, whoa,
and then it's
what
like,
the fuck?
Just inject your body with this more crap.
Yeah, they're
the
basically like masks off. Like, yeah, you've been a victim of
mass
poisoning, and it's been a full on campaign coming from every corporation you know. And we're here with another product that can get you out of this mess. And it's a little ominous little vial. And what is it?
So
it's just
fucked.
Generic Ozempic.
We're so fucked.
And it's like, hey, maybe Ozempic is here to save the day. Maybe it will save a lot of lives. But, like, I don't know. From what I hear about it, it seems like another dark rabbit hole. It feels like another off-ramp before you really truly get to real health and really caring about what you put in your body, because you know that it affects who you become. Because your gut feeling happy is making you feel happy. Your gut feeling happy makes you feel happy. So you got to fucking keep that thing happy. You got to feed it good food.
You know, I agree.
There's these off-ramps, though, to getting to that just very simple realization of, like, I got to clean it up. I got to stop fucking expecting fucking Disney World, which is what our economy and our food supply is, to feed me well. They're not going to.
It's all mass hypnosis. So the whole, like, they're basically saying there is a revolution and this is it. The revolution is Kendrick. The revolution is him saying turn off your TV at the Super Bowl.
The revolution is fuck Drake.
That is the lane in which the revolution can be televised in this country.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So they want
they want you to think that's a revolution.
They want to stick their flag in the revolution so that you can consume the revolution. The revolution is not something to consume; it's something to create.
Yes, and it gets subverted by the commodification of revolution. You know, TM. It gets completely subverted when you have a powerful black artist who's the voice of a generation saying this is the revolution, and his message is like Drake's a pedophile. You know, it's literally, it's just such low-hanging fruit. It'd be me being like, I'm a revolutionary. Fuck the orange man in chief, whatever. Like, it's just like, oh, we don't have more depth by now. We don't have another, like, something that is so subversive. It cut through all the corporate sponsorships. It cut through everything.
That's not going to ever happen. You cannot look to the Super Bowl to be your salvation. That's just that.
Do you think that me? Of all people, like, you're totally missing the point of what I'm saying. No, I'm saying it's a dark reflection of a bankrupt vibration that is what we represent to the world. And what I try to do, and what you try to do, and what we try to do as artists and try to inspire other artists to do, is balance that energy with something really positive that shows what beauty is.
Yeah, the work continues.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we're trying to fucking be on a podcast. Like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
I'm not doing anything.
I'm trying to make a point, and you're like, shut up.
I'm not saying.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to fill an hour. I don't know. Which we already did by a long shot.
Great.
Cool. We'll see you on the Patreon. We have much more personal things to discuss. I don't know what it is yet. But we'll see you over there. Patreon.com/churchofchill contains part 2 of all these episodes. So if you dig what we do, please join us over there. Join the Discord community. Say hi, join the film club, join the art groups, and listen to Church of Chill, our radio show that comes out once a week.
200 plus episodes.
Yes. Peace, love, and magic, y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.
Awesome.